What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Now kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me. Y'all, the sports world is on fire right now. They done split a Player of the Year award between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Are you kidding me? This is just fired up where we left back up off of last year when this thing turned all black and white and split the country up on two sides. The fuel has been added back to the fire as they grace the same cover half and half, making one whole face. Never have I ever seen this in women's college basketball where there are co-MVPs. But I digress, because here we are. But before we get into all that, make sure to join the memberships and hit that subscribe button for all the latest and the greatest. And, we got that exclusive content coming daily, weekly, whenever you need it. Now, back to business while we're all here. Let's get into it.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
So first off, we're talking about two of the most dynamic and impactful players in women's basketball history at the college level. I mean, two household names that catapulted their teams to the biggest stage last season. Now, LSU came away with the win, right? Angel Reese was the tournament's most outstanding player. She was the best player on the best team. So, from that perspective, Angel Reese. But on the other side, you have a more productive player with better numbers who also led her team, who was more valuable to her team. You know what I'm saying? Neither one of these teams get to the final without either one of these players. But Iowa, without Caitlin Clark, is probably like a 10-win team, straight up. Is Caitlin Clark more valuable to her team than Angel Reese? That's what you got to ask yourself. Who accounts for more usage? This year we're seeing is two different scenarios. This is based off last year, but this year we're seeing Caitlin Clark carrying Iowa once again. And then we're seeing Angel Reese a part of a super team at LSU with multiple scores. When we saw her miss several games, they kept on rolling like nothing missed, like they didn't skip a beat. So we see that LSU doesn't necessarily need Angel Reese. They do if they want to win a title, but they don't absolutely need her to be successful. And that's no shade to what she's bringing. But on the other side, with Iowa, they need Caitlin Clark. If Caitlin Clark don't score 30, they don't win. But I digress. But last year, we're looking at it. Angel Reese averaged 23 points, 15 boards, 2 assists, almost 2 blocks per game. A dominant performance in the NCAA tournament. Dominant for LSU. On the other side, you got Caitlin Clark, the sniper, who averaged 27, 7, and 8. The numbers edge would go to Clark, but seriously, that's not the only deciding factor here, obviously, or it would have just been Clark. Now, the X sphere, I want to say Twitter sphere so bad, y'all. The X sphere has been letting their opinions be known. And I came across some tweets, some posts, kind of very split, actually, on both sides. And for me personally, I don't feel this is a race thing. But we got to talk about it because that's what's being talked about. One user, Whittle2K, it's only like this when we win. Why should Angel share when her team beat the F out of Clark's team? I only recognize Angel as the award winner. Okay. All right. Sosa Picks quotes that and says, respectfully, Caitlin Clark is an exponentially better basketball player than Angel Reese. Both are good for the expansion of the women's game. I agree with that part. Both are exceptional. Both are great for the growth of the women's game. He says, I get what you're saying, but I also believe the inclusion of both pushes women's basketball, which is bigger at the end of the day. Not saying racism is involved, but also the picture and the pushing moving forward of women's basketball does not trump that. But again, I'm not saying that, I agree with the first quote either. I'm just saying, hey, I do agree that both these women are doing a great job of pushing the women's basketball game. Another quote. Making this a race thing is hilarious because if there was only one winner, it would be Caitlin Clark. We're not about to sit here and act like Angel is the better player. LOL, it's not close. I mean, Caitlin deserved for you to spell her name right, my boy. Give the Pats a top 5 pick? No, we won't. You drafted a bus in Mac Jones and stick with him. What's funny about this situation, though, is that these two athletes are polar opposites in every single way. You got Angel Reese, who's big, powerful, plays at the rim, lives in the paint, eats it up, Bayou Barbie. You know what I'm saying? Loving the attention. She's a superstar, right? In every aspect of the word. Getting the brand deals, making the most money in NIL. You know what I'm saying? Got the boyfriend at Florida State. You know what I'm saying? On Main Street, at all the award shows, on the cover of swimsuit magazines. You know what I'm saying? More flashy, I think more so in the public eye. Like, that's not a knock. She has I'm not gonna say more personality, but it's more out loud. It's that black girl magic she got going on. It's, you get diva vibes from her. You know what I'm saying? Like, Angel Reese is a hooper and also an influencer. So that's where I'm going with that. But they're complete opposites. Like, Angel Reese is on Main Street with it, letting you know what's going on. Caitlin Clark, on the other side, is a very competitive and outspoken athlete in her own right, but in her own way. And yes, she's racking up on NIL deals, but, I think it's more so strictly on the athletic ability, like on the court performance. And that's not to say Angel's not performing on the court, because if she wasn't, she wouldn't be getting those deals. But she's down with the culture, and she's really outside. You know what I'm saying? And Caitlin Clark, it seems like it's just, gym, school, home, gym, school, home, gym, school, home. And she's out here doing great things for the community and the state of Iowa. She's the most famous athlete in her state. And you could tell, like, she's really through and through Iowa. You know what I'm saying? And it's just different being from Maryland, being from the DMV compared to Iowa. It's just different. It's just different. It's the whole different areas, demographics, culture, like everything is different. These two players are polar opposites. You got Caitlin Clark, who's assassin, sniper, shooting it from 3, lighting it up. Then we mentioned Reese is on the other end, big, powerful, getting bodies in the paint, moving them out the way, finishing at the cup. She's playing at the rim. Two totally different personalities, but they're both competitors. They're both big-time competitors. And we're seeing that this season. Both are off to great starts. Angel Reese missed some games, had the bumpy start. She's back in action, and she's been killing. She's having a good year so far this season. On the other side, you got Caitlin Clark, who picked up right where she left off, once again. Now, the difference on the court is Angel Reese is a really good player, and she's really good at what she does. Caitlin Clark is a generational talent, though. Caitlin Clark is a generational talent. Like, it's a little bit different between being an all-star and being potential face of the WNBA, winning multiple MVPs. Like, just looking at the trajectory. Both of them first-round talents, but, Caitlin Clark coming a little different. And, I mean, it's not a knock. Like, yeah, they both got the award. They both were honored. It was kind of cool. Like, I wouldn't want to be in the position to pick one of them. And it depends on how you look at it. Are you looking at numbers and what the player meant to the team? Or are we looking for the best player in the tournament who performed the best, won the championship, and was the best player on the best team? That's always the toss-up with MVP. But who really meant more to their team? I mean, if you take either one of these players off their squads, they're not in that championship game. Especially last year. We got to look at it from last year. Before Nisa Morrow, before Michaela Williams, before Haley Van Lith. Like, Angel Reese was putting on. And she dominated. And she became the face of women's college basketball. And she burst onto the scene. And she was unapologetically herself. And we loved it. And we ate it up. And she became one of America's darlings. It seems like you don't have to, just because you're a fan of Angel Reese doesn't mean you can't be a fan of Caitlin Clark and vice versa. It seems like they're attracting two totally different fan bases, but it's really not like that. It's just a few tweets we're going through. And, you know, I do that to just see what's out there and show y'all what I'm seeing. But honestly, both these ladies are both great for the women's game. Regardless of how you feel, they both advanced the agenda for women's sports. I mean, we talking about two millionaires in women's college basketball. I mean, 10 years ago, 2, 3, 4 years ago, they wasn't even getting equal equipment and gear from the schools, from the brands. At the NCAA tournament, the sceneries was not the same. Now women's college basketball has its own deal for their NCAA tournament. How can y'all not see what these two women are both doing for the growth of the game? That's what we want to see. You know what I'm saying? So I think, to say all that, I will say that they holding the torch together, and now they holding the MVP together. And I'm not mad at it, honestly and truthfully. But let me know how y'all feel about the situation. Y'all holler at me and let me know what y'all think about this situation. Me personally, you know, I think it's good for the game. I don't think that both of them sharing the cover dims anybody's light. Angel's still going to shine like a phoenix and be a superstar. Caitlin Clark still going to be a superstar, be a household name, and continue to carry the women's game on her back as well. So salute to both of these ladies, man. But y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments. Holler at your boy, man. Let me know. And for all the latest and the greatest, I am Brandon Blakeney, a.k.a. Brandon Lee TV, your host. Make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay up with the content. Until next time, hey, we out.